and we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mga kaguro. And of course, welcome back to Gurong Pinoy. And I am very sorry, we had some technical difficulties. Nahirapan tayo pumasok sa StreamYard. And so I had to log out and bumalik po sa ating StreamYard kasi nawawala yung isa nating account na hindi po ako makapasok at hindi ko makita yung inyong mga comments. And so right now, I'm just using my cell phone. We are 11 minutes behind, no? So again, I apologize. Medyo nagkaroon po tayo ng technical difficulties. But of course, dire-diretso po yung ating pagre-review. And tonight, we are going to continue with our mid-review discussion. Nasa part 4 na po tayo ng ating mid-review. And of course, the exclusive video for this, yung dire-diretso pong video, and of course, our online quiz, our PDF are all exclusive for our Team Skinner. So again, if you are still not a member of Team Skinner, magpa-member na po kayo. Just send a message to our Facebook page. And of course, sa ating pong exclusive final coaching, makakasama pa rin po natin yung viral summa cum laude, yung inyong mahal na mahal, si Coach June, and of course, yung ating top 1 sa March SPLE, si Coach Toto. No? So again, dire-diretso po yung ating pagre-review. By next month, malapit na po, after 2 weeks, na magkakaroon na po tayo ng inyong pre-board. August 9th would be your pre-board for general education. August 11th would be your pre-board for professional education. Of course, after that, we are going to have your final coaching and your classified files discussion. So again, become a member of Team Skinner. And of course, para dire-diretso ang ating panonood at tayo ay hindi lamang papasa sa let, magtatapa po tayo sa let. Okay, so here, you can see your schedule. Hindi ko na iisa-isahin since we are late, no? And again, September 2023, top 3 would be receiving 100,000 pesos from Gurong Pinoy. Top 2 would receive 200,000 pesos, hindi po 200 pesos. And of course, top 1 would be receiving 300,000 pesos. So again, become a member of Team Skinner para po ma-enjoy ninyo yung ating monetary prizes. All right. As I've mentioned, this is mid-review part 4 for Let September 2023. Kindly like, love, share our video, start a watch party, and tag your friends. But of course, let's all have our opening prayers. So samahan niyo po ako mga kaguro. Dear Lord, I come to you to ask for your guidance and direction in this study session. I ask that the Holy Spirit fill me with strength, creativity, and understanding to get through my studies without difficulty or sin. Help me hold my focus and attention. Help me to retain all that I learned. Please make my mind sharp and keep distractions at bay. If any part of my studying is weak or lacking in some way, let it be revealed so that I may correct it. Thank you for this opportunity to learn. Amen. Okay, now once again, this is mid-review part 4. This is all about professional education. Paki-like na po, paki-love ng ating video. Now start a watch party and tag your friends. Ma'am Grace Shella Octoman, may sounds po ma'am. Okay, meron bang sounds? Meron bang hindi nakakarinig? No? Sana po naririnig niyo ako lahat. From Thailand, Sir Ernest Balot Ibanez. Okay, magyayabang na naman for tonight's video. Okay, hindi daw marinig. Meron po ba kayong naririnig? May sounds po ba? Okay, again, nahirapan po tayong mag-start kasi nawawala po, no? It's because whenever we go live, we are using 2 devices. So one device would be for our presentation. The other device would be to read, this is a device that I use to read your comments. So kanina, kapag pinapapasok ko yung isang device, nawawala yung isang device, no? And so I had to log out and log in. Okay, ayon, may sounds naman. Okay naman daw. Okay, so again, this is Prof Ed. Paki-like, love, and share na po ng ating video. Send us stars on Facebook and super chat, super stickers naman po sa ating YouTube channel. We start with question number 1. Okay, number 1. Again, this is Prof Ed. Tessa gets jealous whenever she sees her father showing love and affection to her mother. Which of the following is she showing according to Freud? Letter A, complex. Letter B, phallic. Letter C, Electra complex. Or letter D, Oedipus complex. What is our choice? Number 1, dapat ito, no? Kahit natutulog, kahit nakapikit, alam nyo na to, no? Basic na ito sa ating Prof Ed. Okay? So dito dapat sa mga questions na ganito, pa-split-split na lang yung beshi ko, no? Hindi na dapat nahihirapan. Okay, so mga team abroad natin, meron ako nakikitang from Thailand, from Dubai, from Saudi Arabia, no? Good evening po sa inyong lahat. And of course, ingat po kayo dyan. Sa mga nandito sa Pilipinas, ingat din po tayong lahat at medyo malakas po si Bagyong Egay, no? So mag-ingat po tayong lahat. Okay, number one, I see a lot of letter C's, and that, of course, is tumpak. No? This is your Electra complex. Okay? Balikan po natin yung ating different stages sa psychosexual theory ni Lolo Freud. No? So here, you have the 5 different stages. So, ang pinaka-importante pong inyong intindihan, no, sa psychosexual stages ni Freud, ayon kay Freud, merong iba't ibang parte ng katawan ng tao sa kada stage na nagbibigay ng satisfaction and gratification. Okay? So, sa oral stage, the first stage from birth to 1 year, ang tinatawag ng erogenous zone, no, that particular part of the body that gives you gratification would be the mouth. So, kaya nga lahat ng nakukuha or lahat ng hahawakan ng bata, sinusubo. Kaya bawal po yung mga maliliit na toys na yung mga Legos natin, bawal po yan kasi choking hazard siya. No? Kasi lahat po isusubo ng ating mga bata because their erogenous zone, the part of the body that gives them gratification at this point would be their mouth. Okay, so the next one is your anal stage, from the term anal, no, anus as in the bladder control and the bowel control. Okay, so hindi ko na i-mention at baka meron pang kumakain sa inyo. Yan po yung erogenous zone ayon kay Lolo Freud at this point, now from 1 to 3 years old. So during that time po, pwede mo na pong i-start na i-toilet train yung inyong bata, no, sa yung inyong anak during the anal stage. Next one, phallic stage. Phallic means phallus or ari, no, sa Filipino. This would be from 3 to 6 years old, and the erogenous zone here would be the genital. So ayan, nakikita niyo po sa ating picture, medyo curious yung bata. Nakikita niyo minsan yung bata at this stage na hinahawakan si Toy Toy, hinahawakan si Mingming, no? So sometimes you'd say, ano ba nangyayari sa batang ito? Anong ginagawa ng batang ito, no? But this is all natural, okay? Natural lang po yan because the child is trying to learn about herself or himself, no, by touching the different parts of her or his body. Okay, so that would be the phallic stage. At during that stage po, nagkakaroon tayo ng Electra complex at Oedipus complex. No? So yung Electra complex ninyo, ang bata, si Tessa dyan, yung babaeng bata, babaeng anak, ay selosa, no? Nagsiselo sa kanyang nanay, nagko-compete sa kanyang nanay sa atensyon ng kanyang tatay. Ang Oedipus complex naman po ay kabaliktaran. Yung batang lalaki ay nagko-compete sa tatay para sa atensyon ng nanay. Meron bang lag sa inyo? Medyo nakikita ko medyo may lag dito sa aking screen, sa aking cellphone. Meron po bang lag, no? Lagay po sa ating comment box kung meron pong lag. Baka mahina yung aking signal. I-check ko lamang po yung aking signal. Okay. Okay, so again, please put that in our chat box kung medyo may lag yung ating signal, hindi nyo ako naririnig, hindi nyo ako naiintindihan, pakilagay po sa ating chat box. Okay? And then the fourth stage here would be the latent stage. And during this time, yung bata po ay walang libido, no? Wala masyadong libido, inactive ang kanyang libido. Na libido would be the sexual drives ng bata. Okay? So, bakit inactive? Baka lumabas sa no? Bakit inactive yung bata, yung libido ng bata during this stage? Dahil po very busy yung bata with the schoolwork, no? Yung anak with the schoolwork. Okay? So, that's from 6 to puberty. So, inyo pong napapansin, wala pong erogenous zone dahil ito po yung pinaka-boring na part para kay Lolo Freud. No? So, hindi na niya talaga nilagyan ng erogenous zone. Alright? Now, genital stage, this is from puberty to death. This is maturing sexual interest. Okay? Sometimes the genital stage is called the sexual reawakening. Okay? Because during this time, the child is still exploring, no, sexualities, but already using or already with the help of a partner. Hindi na lamang mag-isa, di ba? Hindi na lamang sariling sikap. Yung bata or yung, hindi na pala siya bata, no? Yung from puberty kasi teenager to death, okay? meron na siyang sexual partner. It might be a member of the opposite sex or po pwede din namang member ng kaparehas na sex, no? Sa mga LGBTQIA plus members natin. Alright, so again, we were looking for letter C for number 1. Oy, meron akong inaanak dito. Sabi, clear naman po, Ninang. Okay, we go to number 2. Choose an example question that can be asked to the adolescent patients when you're assessing component D in heads, okay? HEEADSSS assessment on them. Would this be letter A? Have you ever tried smoking, alcohol, or drugs with your friends? Letter B, what do you do for fun? Sports, reading, video game. Letter C, have you ever been picked on or bullied? Or letter D, do you have your own room? Okay, what is our choice for number 2? Good evening sa mga passers natin. Meron akong ibang nakikita, no? Na passers na nagko-comment. Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Sir RJ Figueroa. Good evening, Coach Mek. I am a newbie of Team Skinner. I'm hoping for new learning. Good evening po. Sana po makasabay ako. LPTQT, sabi ni Sir. Ayon, si Sir Mike Echo. No? Hello, Mamek. Mabuhay po kayo. Isa sa ating mga pastors yan, si Sir Mike Echo. Good evening po. All right, letter A. I see a lot of letter A's for number 2. D, drugs. Sabi ni Ma'am Mildred Dante. Okay, letter D, drugs. So, we are looking for component D here, no? And so the correct choice here would be letter A. Tumpak po yung letter A. Ayan, si Facebook user, nakita ko. Ayan, sabi ni Facebook user, ang yabang. Heads, okay? Home, education, or employment. Eating, activities. Then you have drugs, sexuality, suicide or depression, and safety. Okay? So yan po yung ibig sabihin ng ating heads, no? Ginagamit for assessment. So ayan, alright? So home, education, eating, the activities that you do, no? So yung choice B natin kanina was for activities. D, drugs. Yan yung ating hinahanap, no? Choice A. Then, of course, sexuality. Meron ka bang current relationship? What is your sexual orientation? Homosexual ba or heterosexual? Suicide, okay? Sad, stressed, etc. And the last one will be safety, okay? So, yan po yung meaning ng heads. And this is used to evaluate mental health, no? So, usong-usong ngayon, of course. We are all aware of mental health, no? And of course, very important that we keep our mental health healthy, okay? So dapat meron nga ang sinasabi na dapat self-care, no? Mahalin mo yung inyong sarili. Okay, so again, we were looking for letter A for that item. Since we were looking for part D, it pertains to drugs, okay? So letter A for number 2. We go to number 3. Some grade 11 researchers bumped into Sheila, a grade 9 student. They then asked her to answer their questions. This is blank. Letter A, availability sampling. Letter B, cluster sampling. Letter C, voluntary sampling. Or letter D, snowball sampling. Okay? Baka mapuruhan kayo ng research questions sa inyong licensure exam for teachers at marami sa atin yung hindi masyadong versed, no, with research. And so very important that we are discussing all this. We have discussed the different types of sampling, the different types of researches, the purpose of your action research, the different types of citations. No? So lahat ng yan encounter natin, na-discuss natin sa ating research as part of your Prof Ed. Okay? So again, kung newbie ka po at member po ikaw ng Team Skinner, kakapasok po lamang ninyo, andyan po lahat ng ating videos. I-click nyo po yung media na tab sa inyo pong group. Makikita niyo po lahat ng videos na andyan po. So balikan po lahat ng videos, i-replay kung kinakailangan. And of course, sa files naman na tab ng ating group, nandyan po lahat ng yung PDF. Okay? So you may download, you may just read. Po pwede namang wag niyo nang basahin, no, yung PDF kasi yung PDF would be this PPT, no? Itong PowerPoint na aking ginagamit, no? Shinare lamang siya in PDF format. Po pwede naman pong wag nang basahin or wag nang i-download or wag nang i-print. No? Hindi po kayo required na i-print yung inyong PDF kasi guide siya. No? The same lang siya sa aking ginagamit na PowerPoint presentation. Okay? So po pwede namang video na lamang po kayo. Okay, so I see a lot of letter A's here. Letter A nga ba? For number 3, so meron kang grade 11 researchers at nakasalubong nila, no, si Sheila. Hindi naman po literal na bumped into, no, na nabangga. Okay, so nakasalubong si Sheila, who is a grade 9 student. And so they asked Sheila to answer their questions. Would this be letter A, availability sampling, letter B, cluster sampling, letter C, voluntary sampling, or letter D, snowball sampling? The correct choice here would be letter A, availability sampling. Ang ating pong tumpak na choice. Now, let's take a look at the different sampling methods. So meron po tayong dalawang major types of sampling methods. Unang-una, meron kang probability. Lahat po ng parte or lahat ng membro ng inyong population may equal amounts of being selected, no? So that's probability sampling. Ang non-probability sampling mo naman, non-random selection. Meron ka ng kumbaga target, no? Meron ka ng meron lamang parte or bahagi ng inyong population na may bigger chance of getting selected to answer your questions or to be part of your research. Now, under your probability sampling, meron kang simple random sampling, no? So dito, napakasimple, you randomly select a subset of participants from your population or you randomly select the members of your sample, no? So for example, ang inyong population, lahat ng estudyante sa isang school. So what you do is you get all their names at pick ka lang, no? So it does not matter what the grade level is. It does not matter what the gender is, no? So what the mental capacity is, you just randomly pick their names. That's simple random sampling, no? Ang second type natin dito, cluster sampling, bahagi po ito ng ating choices kanina. Sa cluster sampling naman, nakadivide na yung population mo into clusters. Maaring meron kang different sections, okay? So naka-cluster na sila. And then from these clusters, no, you randomly select the members of your sample, okay? Next one, systematic sampling, selecting members of a population at a regular interval. Kunwari, lahat ng names ng certain school kinuha mo, no, or nilista mo, and yung kada fifth, no, you count 1 2 3 4 5, yung lahat ng multiples ng 5 ay magiging parte ng inyong sample, okay? So at a regular interval or by tens or by threes, no, depende sa inyo, okay? Basta may regular interval ang pag-select mo ng members ng inyong sample, okay? So that's systematic, meron kang sistema. And of course, the last one here is stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling naman po, you divide your subjects into subgroups called strata. Strata, this would mean layers, no? Kumbaga meron kang layers, meron kang different levels based on the different characteristics that they have, and you choose from these different strata, okay? So that's stratified random sampling. Now, going to the next side, no, of our presentation, non-probability sampling naman, again, this is non-random selection. Unang-una, yung ating kaninang hinahanap na availability sampling or convenience sampling, no? Or sometimes also called opportunity sampling. Here, you only use who is readily available, okay? So, kung sino lang yung makita mo, sino makabangga mo, yung pinakamalapit, yung pinaka-convenient, yan yung ginagamit mo. Kaya siya tinawag ng convenience sampling, no? So, kanina sa ating example, convenience sampling po yun or availability sampling. Kaya letter A ang ating tumpak na choice. Next one, judgmental or purposive sampling. Dito, meron ka na talagang purpose, na meron kang hinahanap na specific characteristics, and so you choose the participants based on your characteristics, okay? Based on those characteristics. So that's judgmental or purposive sampling. Snowball sampling naman para siyang pyramid, no? So new units or new members are recruited by the members to form part of the sample. Kunwari, no, meron kang in-invite na limang mga tao to be part of your research, and then these 5 people, you ask them to recruit 5 more people, no? So that's snowball sampling. Kaya siya tinawag na snowball sampling, no? If you imagine a snowball, kapag ka nahuhulog from a mountain, for example, mula sa bukid, habang pahulog siya or habang nagfo-fall siya, no, from the top of the mountain going downwards, mas lumalaki siya, no? Nag-accumulate siya ng snow, okay? So that's snowball sampling. Ang quota sampling mo naman, from the term itself, quota means meron ka ng quota, no? Meron kang quota in Filipino, no? So meron kang predetermined na kailangan ko lamang 50, no? 50 participants. And so once you have reached the 50, the number, no? The number of participants, stop ka na kaagad, okay? So that's quota sampling. All right, so again, the correct choice here would have been, the correct choice was letter A, no? Your availability sampling or convenience sampling. All right, we go to the next item. Sana po klaro, no? Sana po klaro yung ating pong choice for this item. At sana po klaro na yung ating different sampling methods, okay? Again, if you are part of Team Skinner, you can easily download my PDF after this. Okay, number 4, it was the initial cognitive response to behaviorism, emphasizing the importance of sensory holes and the dynamic nature of visual perception. Would this be letter A, Gestalt theory, letter B, insight learning, letter C, life space, or letter D, the law of proximity? Okay, what is our choice? Number 4. All right, number 4, I see letter A's. Medyo maraming absent sa ating ngayon, no? Baka malakas ang ulan, baka merong power interruption, no? Walang ilaw, or merong iba pang kadahilanan. Okay, but again, if you're a member naman of Team Skinner, nababalikan po lahat ng ating videos. Sinaulo na daw yung question and answer, sabi ni Ma'am Flora Medeliosa. Okay, well and good. Hello, Sir Carlo Mutia. Present, sabi ni Sir Carlo. Okay, the correct choice here would be Gestalt theory. Okay, importance of sensory holes. Ang Gestalts po natin yung nagsabi na the whole is more than the sum of its parts. Okay, so sensory holes, pag sinabi mong sensory holes and dynamic nature of visual perception, kumbaga, automatic ang brain natin nagsasabi sa atin na, ay, ito yung nakikita mo, no? Ito yung pinapanood mo ngayon, no? Meron kang sensory holes na bubuo ng brain mo yung isang image. Kahit na kulang yung image or kahit na hindi naka-state, no, na ganito siya, your brain would help you perceive or would make the image whole, no? So that's letter A, Gestalt theory. Okay, let's take a look at our slide, no? Yan po yung ating Gestalt principle. Again, yung Gestalt po natin yung nagsabi na the whole is more than the sum of its parts. Also, another common question in the LET regarding your Gestalt theorists would be the use of the multimedia. Ilagay po yan sa inyong notebook, no? The use of multimedia. Kapag ka may questions na why do we use the multimedia in teaching our students, or which theorists stated that the use of multimedia, the use of different sensory stimuli would be helpful, no, in teaching. Okay, so the use of multimedia would be under your Gestalts too. Okay, so the whole is more than the sum of its parts, and multimedia, yan po ay under your Gestalt principles. And here you have the different principles ng inyong Gestalts. Na yung proximity mo kanina, the law of proximity or the principle of proximity, choice D natin, would just be part of your Gestalt principle. Good figure, okay? Ito yung sinasabi ng good figure mo, kahit na hindi siya buo, binubuo ng ating utak, di ba? So that's the principle of good figure. Tinutulungan ka ng utak mo to perceive it as a whole. Now, the principle of similarity, kapag ka magkakaparehas yung kanilang itsura, our mind or our brain would tell us na isang grupo sila kasi magkakaparehas sila. Closure, kahit hindi close yung isang figure, your brain would help you perceive this as a whole figure, okay? Parang parehas siya ng good figure there, no? So that's closure. Now, proximity, if things are near each other, then we perceive them as part of a whole, okay? kapag magkalapit sila, magkasama sila, no? Yan yung ibig sabihin ng proximity. Continuation, kapag may intersection, our brain would perceive this as a continuous image. That's your principle of continuation. And symmetry, the object tend to be perceived as symmetrical shapes that form around their center. Okay, so that's symmetry. So ito po yung iba't ibang Gestalt principles natin. Okay, now paano po ma-save yung PDF? Pwede po kayong gumamit ng inyong mga PDF readers or WPS. And kapag meron po kayo noon, once you click the PDF, diretso po siya na-download. Alright, now, ang insight learning mo or insightful learning, ito po was a product of the studies of Wolfgang Kohler. At sabi dito, this is a type of learning or problem solving that happens all of a sudden through understanding the relationships of various parts of a problem rather than through trial and error. So sinabi lamang dito ni Wolfgang Kohler, pag ginamit mo yung insight learning, instantaneous, no? Instant, yung pag-solve mo ng isang problema dahil nakikita mo yung relationships ng iba't ibang parte, no, sa isang problema, hindi siya trial and error, no, hindi pa ulit-ulit na iniiba-iba mo yung process. It is instant, no, instant learning. Kaya siya minsan tinatawag din siyang aha learning. Okay, so kapag meron tayong nakikita sa cartoons, no, na may nagla-light up na bulb, that to be your insight learning. Okay, so yung ginamit dito ni Kohler was the chimpanzee na naglagay siya ng cranes, no, ng boxes sa isang room at meron ding stick, no, at meron siyang banana sa bubong. Okay, so hinayaan niya until the chimpanzee was able to use insight learning and the chimp was able to get the banana using the different things that he had in the room. Okay, so yan po yung insight learning natin. Ito yung life space of the individual. Now, this was by Kurt Lewin. Ang life space is a psychological representation ng environment ng individual. So kumbaga ito yung lahat ng factors that would influence the individual at this particular time. Okay, so life space, you have the person and you have the environment, no? So yan pong life space by Kurt Lewin naman ito. Okay, we go to number 5. An item has a difficulty index of 0.40 to 0.59. What is your interpretation of this item? Is it letter A, most difficult, letter B, difficult, letter C, moderate, or letter D, easiest? What is our choice for number 5? Okay, number 5, ano po yung ating choice? Sa mga medyo mahihina po yung signal, I think medyo mahina yung signal ngayon dahil sa bagyo, no? So just be patient po. Pwede naman po itong balikan later. Okay, number 5, letter C. For number 5, letter C, moderate. Okay, I see a lot of letter C's and that will be tumpak. Okay, so here is your interpretation of your difficulty index. Now, so yung ating pong difficulty index, kasama po siya sa inyong item analysis. We've talked about item analysis the last time that we had your professional education. So when you say item analysis, tinitingnan mo yung bawat item sa isang test. No? So tama ba yung difficulty ng item na ito? Ang item na ito ba ay nakaka-discriminate, no? Na ipapakita ba yung iba't ibang kakayahan ng ating mga estudyante? No? So kasama po sa item analysis ang difficulty index and discrimination index. No? So here is your interpretation. So ito po yung ating hinahanap, 0.4 to 0.59. It is moderately difficult, sakto lang, no? Swak lang yung kanyang pagkahirap, no? Yung kanyang difficulty, and so we have to retain this item. Baka medyo nahihirapan kayong tingnan siya or i-interpret siya dahil nasa decimal form. Pwede nyo po siyang ilipat or pwede nyo po siyang i-convert into your percentage, no, rate. No? So, etong 0.2 mo, ilipat mo lang po yung decimal point 2 times to the right at ilagay yung inyong percentage sign, no? Magiging 20% po siya. Okay? So, that would be 20%. Ay, parang ang pangit ng aking penmanship, no? Hindi ako marunong magsulat. Okay, 20% to 29% lamang yung nakakuha. And so that means it is most difficult. It is the most difficult item, no? 0.30, that's 30% to 39% of your students got the item correctly. And so it still is a difficult item. Although it's also good to retain difficult items, di ba? Kasi nadi-discriminate niya kung sino yung talagang nag-aral or sino yung talagang marunong kaysa sa hindi. Okay? So, pero yung pinaka-moderate po would be the item that we have here in our question. Okay, so letter C, ang ating pong tumpak na choice. We go to number 6. Okay, number 6. In Piaget's theory of cognitive development, which of the following statements would illustrate Edward, who is 11 years old? Letter A, able to see relationships and to reason in the abstract. Letter B, unable to break down a whole into separate parts. Letter C, differentiates goals and goal-directed activities. Or letter D, experiments with methods to reach goals. Okay, what is our choice for number 6? I see a lot of letter A sa ating comment box. Ang yayabang. Okay, nagmamayabang na naman, no, for this video. Okay, letter A. So yung pinaka-hint nyo po dito, wala na kayong ibang hint, kundi ang age ni Edward. No? 11 years old. So ano na ba yung 11 years old? Papunta na siya ng high school, no? Pa-high school na siya. And so the correct choice here would be letter A. Able to see relationships and to reason in the abstract. All right, so here are the different steps or stages, no, sa Piaget's cognitive development theory natin. Kinuha po natin to sa ating page, no. So again, you have sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. And these are the various characteristics of the child during each stage. Okay, so sensory motor, bata pa yung anak mo dito, no. So peekaboo, ayan, reflex, no, different reflexes. So again, when you say reflexes, this is something or these are things that we can do innately. Walang nagturo sa inyo, no. Reflex, alam mo na kung paano siya gawin. For example, blinking your eye, it's a reflex. Coughing, it's a reflex. Walang nagturo sa inyo na, walang nagsabi sa iyo na, okay, today I will teach you how to cough. Open your mouth, okay, then push, okay, walang ganyan, okay. So that's a reflex, di ba? It is something that you know how to do innately. It is something that's innate, no? That's reflex. So your child, at this stage, the child is using a lot of reflexes. May stranger anxiety yung anak mo, no? Medyo, palagi siyang umiiyak kapag hindi niya kakilala yung kukuha sa kanya or kakalong sa kanya, di ba? Stranger anxiety po yan. Object permanence, ito yung pinaka-milestone. Once the child has already reached object permanence or has already acquired object permanence, that means po pwede na siyang pumunta, no? Papunta na siya sa next stage nyo. Okay, ang object permanence po, prior to the child having object permanence, before this, hindi alam ng bata na kapag or iniisip ng bata, no, kapag tinakpan mo ng kumot ang isang bagay, ang bola, for example, iniisip ng bata or nakakalimutan ng bata na merong bola sa ilalim ng kumot, no? So that's the time na wala pa siyang object permanence. Ito yung tinatawag natin, common question select, no? Tinatawag siyang out of sight, out of mind. Kapag hindi niya nakikita, hindi niya naaalala, no? So that's prior to object permanence. Kapag meron namang object permanence yung bata, alam na niya na kahit takpan mo pa, kahit natakpan mo pa yung bola ng kumot, andyan pa rin yung bola. Okay? So, object permanence na po yan. Then the next stage should be pre-operational stage, no? Ang pre-operational stage, medyo marami-rami na rin naman siyang nagagawa, pero meron pang limitasyon. Okay? So, here, symbolic thinking. The child's imagination is very wild. It's very rich. Okay? So, symbolism po yan. Symbolic thinking. Animism, akala ng bata, lahat ng bagay sa paligid niya ay may buhay. No? So, animism ang tawag dyan. Centration naman, nakatuon lamang ang ang atensyon ng bata sa isang aspeto ng isang bagay. And so, if you have this, for example, no, kung meron kang equal amount of tubig at nilagay mo siya into a taller, narrower glass at yung isa naman nilagay mo sa shorter but wider glass at tinanong mo yung bata saan yung mas maraming tubig, isasagot ng bata would be this, no? This glass right here. Kasi nga meron pa siyang centration. Nakatuon lamang siya sa isang aspeto ng bagay, no? So pag nakita niyang mas longer, no, or mas matangkad, mas mataas ang baso na to, dito sa baso na to mas maraming tubig. Okay? So that's centration. And of course, egocentrism na lahat sa kanya. Okay? Iniisip ng bata na kung ano yung nararamdaman niya, ano yung nakikita niya, ano yung gusto niya, alam ng tao sa paligid niya. No? Alam ng mga tao sa paligid niya, yun din yung nakikita ng mga tao sa paligid niya. That's egocentrism. Now, the next stage is concrete operational. Okay? So, you move on to the next stage. So, here, medyo may logic na yung bata, but here, logic is used or is done using concrete objects, no? Kaya siya tinawag na concrete operational. Pero here, no, this is what you call decentration and conservation. Kapag sinabi mong decentration, opposite po siya ng centration, hindi na lamang nakatuon sa isang aspeto ng isang bagay yung bata, alam na niya na maraming mga aspeto na kailangan mong isaalang-alang, no, sa isang bagay. Conservation, alam na niya na kahit na ilipat mo sa isang garapon, no, sa ibang lalagyan yung tubig, nako-conserve yung kanyang amount, no, wala kang dinagdag. Or kunwari may ball of clay at flin natin ng bata, alam niyo po pwede pa rin niyang maibalik into a ball of clay. Okay, so that's conservation. Meron na din ditong reversibility, no, hindi ko na isulat. Reversibility, alam ng bata na nung anak mo na subtraction is just the opposite of addition. Seriation, the child can already form series. Okay, so na-arrange na niya yung mga bagay-bagay from shortest to longest, from smallest to biggest. Okay, and of course, concrete logic. Using logic with the use of concrete things. And of course, formal operational, eto na, no, meron ka ng abstract thinking, hypothetical thinking, at ito po yung ating hinahanap kanina. So letter A, ang ating pong tumpak na choice. Okay, we go to number 7. If a student is encouraged to develop himself to the fullest and must satisfy his hierarchy of needs, the highest need, according to Maslow, is blank. Letter A, belongingness. Letter B is safety needs. Letter C is psychological needs. Or letter D, self-actualization. What is our choice? No, mataas na need. Okay, the highest need according to Maslow or Abraham Maslow. Okay, I see a lot of letter D's for number 7, letter D, and that of course is tumpak. Remember, these are the different needs, no, according to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. Okay, so unang-una would be your physiological needs, ang kailangan ng inyong katawang lupa, tubig, pagkain, ano pa ba, yung inyong tulog, okay, rest, all right? So that's physiological needs. Kailangan ng inyong katawang lupa para ikaw ay mag-function properly. Next one would be safety. So dapat muna meron kang kita, healthy ka, meron kang bahay, no? Walang harassment na nangyayari, okay? So before you can go to the next level, which of course is love and belonging. So kumbaga, bago ka magkaroon ng relationship, dapat buo ka muna, no? Dapat na achieve mo muna yung inyong safety needs bago ka pumunta sa love and belonging needs mo. Next one would be your self-esteem, self-confidence, ang belief mo sa inyong sarili, no? And lastly, self-actualization, becoming the best version of yourself. Yan po yung self-actualization. Rurok ka na ng tagumpay. Okay, so that's the highest according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Pero ngayon po, merong bagong version at dinagdagan nila nung meron pang isang level, no, after your self-actualization, and that would be your self-transcendence. Okay, the highest in the new version. Pag sinabi mo pong self-transcendence, hindi na lamang sarili mo ang inyong iniisip. Di ba, remember, meron ka ng self-actualization. You are already the best version of yourself. After that, you don't stop with yourself alone. No, you extend your your achievement no sa ibang tao. Okay, so now you try helping other people, you have or you gain satisfaction by helping others, no? Yan po yung self transcendence. Meron ka ng mga spiritual na occurrences, no? Meron kang kumbaga ibang level na yung self transcendence. So sa highest sa new version po ng Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self transcendence na po yung pinakamataas. Baka po lumabas sa inyong let na what is the highest level according to the new version of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Hindi po self-actualization yung ating magiging sagot, kundi self-transcendence. Okay? Ayan, sabi ni Ma'am Rhea. In short, bahay muna bago landi. No? Ayan yung sabi, safety muna bago landi. Okay? So bahay muna bago landi. Okay, we go to number 8. Which category does the age group 1 to 6 belong to in Bruner's theory? Would it be letter A, iconic, letter B, symbolic, letter C, tactile, or letter D, inactive? What is our choice? Okay, what's your choice? Number 8. So again, kung medyo nahihirapan no, sa inyong internet, balikan po ito later, po pwede po. And of course, bukas po, do not forget, you have a session with Coach June for your social science. And Wednesday, Thursday, we still have our mid-review, no, mid-review 5 and 6. By Friday, we have a session with Coach Toto for math. Okay, and of course, Saturday, Sundays are reserved for your majorship. And before I forget, no, nag-open na po pala yung ating newest team, Team Pavlov, for March 2024. So if you will be taking the LET in March next year, no, meron po tayong 50% off for the first 300 members. Okay, so paunahan na lamang po, 50% off sa ating pong first 300 members. Okay, number 8, letter A. And that will be tumpak, no? Sa iconic. Iconic po ang ating tumpak na choice. Okay, so here, galing pa rin sa ating page, no? So according to Jerome Bruner, meron tayong iba't ibang representation of our cognition. Okay, so unang-una, inactive. Next, iconic. Then lastly, symbolic. And active po, when the child is very young, no, the child learns through movements or actions with the use of real objects. Kaya nahihirapan yung bata, for example, na mag-add, mag-subtract kapag ka walang objects. Kaya kung inyong napapansin, sa mga libro ng bata, no, kahit na hindi siya real, minsan sa mga libro ng bata, merong image. No? So nakikita niya yung image. Although, the use of images would already be under your iconic. So ito yung ating hinahanap from 1 to 6. 6 years old na siya. Learning through images or icons with the use of your books. And lastly, you have symbolic, learning through abstract symbols. Okay? So kahit hindi na siya nakasulat, kahit na mental math, kaya mo na, no? That's symbolic cognitive representation. Okay? And so letter A, ang ating tumpak na choice. Hello, good evening, Ma'am Christine Tizon. Good evening po. We go to number 9, the practice of motivating students before we proceed to our lesson proper is in accordance with the law of letter A, exercise, letter B, readiness, letter C, effect, or letter D, connectedness or connectedness. What is our choice? Okay, what is our choice? Number 9. Number 9, ICBs. Okay, so sabi dito ng number 9 mo, why do you have to motivate your students? Bakit sa ating lesson plan, merong motivation prior to lesson proper? Okay? So what is this practice or what is this law according to Thorndike's laws of learning? Okay, the correct choice here, of course, would be letter B, the law of readiness. Okay, so dapat ready yung bata to learn. Dapat na-motivate mo yung bata, no? And how you do this would be to link. Okay, so dapat nire-relate na makaka-relate yung bata para ganahan yung bata. Okay, so that's for readiness. Letter B. Remember the different laws of learning according to Thorndike. No? So the law of exercise here, practice makes perfect. So kapag the more often you practice, the better you become at doing something. No? So practice makes perfect. Kaya tayo nagdi-drill, kaya tayo may pa-quiz, kaya tayo nagdi-discuss, no? So daily dito po sa Gurong Pinoy. Readiness, learning won't be possible unless the student is ready. Po pwedeng na-motivate mo yung student or po pwedeng dapat abot ng student, no? Abot ng kanyang kakayahan yung iyong tinuturo. Hindi po pwedeng tinuruan mo na siya ng different principles of learning, for example, at age 1. Okay, so hindi niya kaya, hindi ready yung bata. And of course, the law of effect, if the effect is good, then the child will do it again, di ba? The connection between the stimulus and the response would be strengthened if the effect was good. That is your law of effect, hindi po connectedness. Okay, we go to number 10. Who among the following conducted norm reference grading? Letter A, Teacher Annie gave final grades based on the transmutation table. Letter B, Teacher Benny assigned the students into grading groups who are or where those in group A are students with high scores, while those in group D are students with very low scores. Letter C, Teacher Kathy evaluated the students' outputs based on the set standard. Or letter D, Teacher Dino copied the students' grades from the previous semester as this semester's grades. Okay, what is our choice? We are looking for norm reference. Norm, hindi po criterion. Norm referenced. Okay, norm reference testing or grading. All right, remember you have two types of grading, no, or testing, norm reference and criterion reference. Kapag ka sinabi mong criterion reference, ini-evaluate mo yung performance ng bata based on the given criteria, no, based on the set standards. And so gusto mong remember I told you, no, yung mga terms na palaging related sa inyong criterion reference testing would be your mastery and drills. You want the kids to achieve mastery, and so you give them drills, no, so that they can reach the standards that you have set for them. That's criterion reference testing. Okay? So hindi mo po kino-compare yung achievement ng bata with the achievement of the other students in that class, no? Wala pong comparison doon. Kino-compare mo ang achievement niya or ang performance niya based sa set criteria or based sa set standards. Kaya po siya tinawag na criterion reference. Now, ang norm reference mo, this one, you compare the performance of that student with the performance of the other students in that group. Okay, so here, the correct choice, of course, would be letter B. Ang letter A mo, wala namang comparison na ginawa si Teacher Annie. Nag-transmute lang siya, no? Transmutation, baka makalimutan ko, lumalabas din po ito sa LET. Which among the following is the synonym of the term transmute? Okay, so yung inyo po magiging sagot would be change. Okay, change po yung inyong magiging sagot. Teacher Kathy evaluated the students' outputs based on the set standard. Ito po ay criterion reference, di ba? Based on the set standard. Teacher Dino, ito mortal sin, no? Yung ginawa ni Teacher Dino kasi sabi niya, kinopya lamang niya yung grades from last semester at ginawa niyang grades for this semester. Okay? So Teacher Benny dito yung ating sagot kasi ginrupo niya yung students no, based sa kanilang performance. So you are comparing the performance of the different students in the class. Okay? So yan po yung norm reference. Pinakamahabang sagot, okay? So during this time, no, ang pinakamahaba ay naging tama. Pero hindi po lagi-lagi na tama ang pinakamahaba. So wag po yung maging basis ninyo. Number 11, what would you do po ito dapat? What would you do with an item that has a discrimination index of 0.50? And letter A, retain. Letter B, revise. Letter C, retain and discard. Or letter D, discard. Okay, what is our choice for number 11? All right, 11 po. Ano po ang ating tumpak na choice? What do you think is the right choice? Number 11?